Hi, Dr. Nia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you. I'm so excited to chat with you today. I wanted to say thank you for taking the time out to share your story with us. Yeah. So I
Th-
want to start off by
Thank
asking, I want to start off by asking, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to start off by asking you, Nia, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in your space?
That's kind of a hard question. Who am I and what do I do? So I'm a radiation therapist. I treat cancer patients from 9 to 5, or really 7 a.m. to about 3 p.m. Um, and then I also have a cancer foundation, Bird Cancer Foundation, where we help those who have cancer and people that don't have cancer. We always say that we're the
Yeah.
connectors. So what we do is connect
Yes.
people to the resources and tools to reduce the risk of cancer, treatment, and survivorship, and everything in between. So I have a 9 to 5, and then also the nonprofit work as well.
Yes. Yes. And that's really incredible. To have like, I wouldn't say the best of both worlds, but you have these two worlds that kind of combine to one actually, because you're servicing the people at the end of the day. And that's what matters most. My question for you is, and I know you and I chatted in the past, but when I came across you a year ago, I was just like blown out of my mind on having this, like having a woman, a voice for the cancer community. And so my question is, what led you to, finding your cancer foundation? Like what led you to like that journey? What led you there?
Yeah, I felt like a lot of patients that I treated didn't know about the phenomenal resources that were out there, you know? So I would tell them,
Yeah.
they would tell me their story, and I would tell them about Unite for Her and Touch, the Black Breast Cancer Alliance, and prostate organizations, and Emmerman Angels. And so, like, all of these great organizations that I knew of. And I'm like, if people knew of all these great organizations that literally could
Yeah.
help them in real time, that would be a game
Yeah.
changer. So I contacted Trudy, my friend, and I was like, listen, it's so funny because I said, I want to create a nonprofit. It's not going to be a lot of work. That's the funny part because it is a lot of work. But I said,
Yes.
I really want to connect people to the resources. And she was like, girl, let's do it,
Yeah.
because she's always been in the community helping people as well. And so that's what made me want to do it. But I had to pay homage to my family because they've been impacted by cancer a lot. So Bird is our family's name, but that's what really made me
Yeah.
do it. Just interacting with people and realizing that they don't have or didn't know of the resources that can help them.
Yeah. I'll tell you for sure, because you know my personal story. I didn't know organizations like this even existed. And I wish I did when I was going through what I was going through. So, having a face like yours and your partner in the forefront of the cancer community it just speaks volumes to everyone, but especially to our community, if that makes sense. Like just building that awareness
Yeah.
and education. It's mind blowing to me. So I'm excited to dive in to learn more about that. Yeah.
Thank you.
I do, and I opened the call and I said, Dr. Nia, because you have that in front of your name, girl. And I always I just love saying that. It just has a nice ring to it. As a Black woman in that space, with a doctorate, what has that journey looked like for you being a woman of color, owning your own foundation and having a doctorate degree behind you?
It's funny. It's been very rewarding, but I don't know if um, I kind of have that imposter syndrome. I don't know what it is, but I don't. Yes, that's the title, but I don't really go by that. And I don't know
Yeah.
if it's because of imposter syndrome. I don't know if it's because it's a PhD and not an MD. I don't know what it is, but I feel like sometimes I kind of shrink and I sort of
Yeah.
get into my shell. Like, oh, don't call me that. That's also a part of me is because I feel like we're all God's children, and it's like that's just a title. But then a part of
Yes.
me also was like, So did I work very hard to get it? Yes. And how was that in
Yeah.
that space? It was empowering. I never received any negative, feedback or anything like that. But
Okay.
for me and how I feel like sometimes maybe it's a little I don't know, like different to me. And I just think that's the work that I have to do on myself. Like, although it's
Yeah.
not an MD, I still did the work, you know? So I just,
Yeah.
is it, I've never had that question to ask before. So it's a very good question.
Yeah.
It's kind I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah. That's you know what? That was a plant question because when you had your foundation, your event 2 years ago, and my husband and I were down there, and I introduced you to my husband, and I said, Dr. Nia, and you was like very humble, like, no, don't call me that. And I was like, girl, like, you worked hard for that title. And your mom was like, yes, she did, So I was like, I get it. You have like this, you're very humble, and like you said, we are children of God, and we want to, not be too hardy or up on ourselves. But I don't see that at all. I just think that's a huge accomplishment. And for someone that's raising a girl, a black girl that's going to be a black woman soon, I love to say Dr. Nia. You know what I mean? Because it's so empowering and so inspirational at the same time. So, but I get it. I do get it. Yeah, it goes. Your
I
your
appreciate
answer
that.
goes with your personality. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. Like I definitely don't, minimize the work of other doctors. And, I just feel like at the
Yeah,
end of the day, when, I make it to heaven, God's not going to be like, welcome home, doctor. Like what? So I think that's just where it
yeah.
comes from.
Yeah, I get it. I understand it, but I want to let you know, to me, it's very empowering that to have that in front of your name. And it's a lot of work, it took for you to get there. I don't have a doctorate, but I can just imagine on what that looks like from anybody that has that. So I wanted to hear you say it though for yourself. Um, yeah. Regarding your cancer, your yearly event that your foundation throws, can you just tell us about your annual cancer awareness events that's in the city of Philadelphia? What does it mean to the community to have that event yearly?
It means to have the resources. It means to have the education. It means to have that community village. So we have our All Things Cancer and Wellness Expo. It's free. We have
Yes.
free mammogram-like services. It's called BEXA. It's the size of like, let me say this, and it goes on the breast tissue. Breast density is not a
Okay.
factor. So that's free. Prostate screenings. Um, Full body skin screenings by advanced dermatology. We have mocktails. We have wellness vendors, health and wellness vendors. Um, this past April, we had Dental Manor College came out and did dental screenings, which is
Yes.
huge.
It is.
Panels and workshops and tattooing for those who've had chemotherapy and, they want their
Yes.
eyebrows tattooed, workshops, beading, and just all the things that you need to know about cancer and those who had cancer as well. Just the survivorship piece is so important. We had talks about
Yeah.
hair, skin, and nails. The braids that I have in my hair is organic, non-toxic by Doso Beauty, which is huge because what we put into our bodies and in our hair and
Exactly.
on our skin, you need to know that is
Yeah.
healthy for you.
Yeah.
So we've had multiple workshops and panels and community conversations just around the topic of cancer and wellness and how to
Yeah.
reduce the risk, different types of treatments and survivorship, which is our mission, just to connect the
Yeah.
community with that type of information.
Yeah. I love that. I can tell you that was a loaded answer. Like, it was loaded. And I'm going to tell you why, because how I came across you, I actually was Googling, cancer, help with cancer or cancer events and something like that. And your foundation popped up. And when I seen you, I was like, oh my God, I got to jump in her DM. I jumped in your DM and we had connected that way. So I met you through your cancer events, and I had the pleasure of participating in the event 2 years ago. And hopefully this year coming, I want to jump back in, and participate again. But you touched on something that really stuck out to me, and that's saying about, the chemicals we use and how you guys educate people on that. The hair that we're applying to our scalps and how that can be some form of chemical that's linked to cancer. I was very uneducated with that when my mom, sister, and father was diagnosed with cancer. And so to have you out educating people like myself that had no clue that you can get cancer from environmental things, you know, that is to me that speaks volumes about where your heart is also, but also like just educating the community on things to avoid, what's healthy, what's not healthy, and all of that fun stuff. So I'm definitely happy that you answered that. We're going to dive more into your foundation and how we can get more involved in that as well. How many
Yeah.
years? How many years, Nia, have you been doing the events?
It was our third year this past April, so we're babies.
Oh, no, you are okay. Good. So I participated in the second one then.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it was a great networking event also because I had someone that reached out to me recently that met me at your cancer event, and she owns a hospice
Wow.
agency. So yeah, you're doing the work full circle, girl. You're bringing everything together. I just wanted to let you know that. So it's a little bit of everything for sure.
Thank you.
Um, absolutely. What has been the most rewarding, Nia, moments of this work so far?
Probably the stories that like you tell or somebody says, I wasn't able to get a mammogram, but I did, and they did find something, but it's early stage and I wouldn't have been able to, get the screening done because I'm so busy, but I was able to stop by your event. Or
Yeah,
just hearing the stories of connection, I think is
yeah,
most powerful because we're not meant to live in silos. We're not meant to be isolated. And so really proving that in this work and through our partnerships is that we're better together, I think is like the
yeah,
most rewarding story conversation we can ever get.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, I totally agree with you. What drives you is helping people. That's your passion and that's your love. It's educating, helping people, and all of that falls under that. Kind of like um what I was saying with myself, just kind of like not knowing. So it's here. Your foundation is here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I chat with a lot of different we're partnered with a lot of different foundations because of my situation. I had to get my genetic
Mhm.
testing done. I think I just seen an interview with you talking to someone about breast cancer and um how the environment can cause all of that. Like it doesn't have to be genetic and all of that stuff. But I want to say when it comes to foundations, I don't see no one, and a lot of foundations are not hands on like you are. I'll say that. And I respect them all, but it's different when you have someone like really hands on and giving back and really educating the community on cancer awareness.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I think what makes us so maybe unique is that we really are able to build strong partnerships. So it's not like when you see Bird, you also see um, you also see Touch, you also see Still Rise, you also see Immerman Angel. So it's not just us. You see all of the other organizations that we've
Yes.
grown so close with. So I think that's what
Yes.
probably makes it so special is the shining lights from other organizations that we're so able to partner with.
Yeah. Which is great because now I connected with Ingram Angels and being a little mentor for them, but that was all through you, and your foundation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the hardest part of building this foundation? That's a loaded question.
It is. I would say the financial piece, everything, all our foundation's 100% volunteer. So the event that we pull off, the other events that we pull off is based on donations. It's based off of sponsorships. And we've been very blessed with great partners and sponsors, but I think that is the hardest part to
Yeah.
get other partners, get other sponsors, is to say, hey, we're here, we matter, and this is why we matter, because we're doing the work. So I think
Yeah.
that can be the hard part. We've been very blessed to be very loud in our voices and get some great partners to sponsor and to donor. I mean, even community members like, hey, I'll give you $10, but this helps. But you have no idea how much that $10 really has helped us.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the hardest part. Is always trying to prove why your organization's valuable. I think that is the hard part, but
Got
it
it.
can also be kind of invigorating too, because you're like, I'm doing the work with my partners, join along, so
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. And I can definitely understand how that can be the hardest or most challenging part is to get people to slow down and listen. And I feel like once people slow down and listen to what the actual movement is really about, then you're going to take your time to stop and say, let me donate here. You know what I mean? It's about just slowing down, listening, and really trying to get involved. But I can understand why that can be like the most challenging. I think that's for a lot of foundations, organizations, because what you do, you're putting that back into the community. You know what I mean? So it definitely could be a little, yeah. I'm gonna make it my business though to at least once a month, kind of like tag that like your Bird Foundation into our stories a little bit more to educate the community a little bit more. Like a little bit more hands on deck with that as well. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to take accountability, girl. I'm an accountability type of person. So yeah, but I can definitely understand that for sure. And that's going to lead us to another question in a few. But for someone who just received a cancer, diagnosis, or who know or love someone that has, what would you want them to know? Like if someone just got diagnosed with cancer, or a friend's mother or father, what would you want them to know? And I'm gonna tell you why I asked this question, because that happened to me recently and I didn't know what to say. So how would you handle that?
That's interesting, because that has happened to me recently too. And I always say I would want them to know that we're trying the best that we can to make sure that you make it to the other side of this, on this side of heaven, because I'm very specific with my words. I'm very specific with my prayers. I will want them
Yes.
to know that you have a team supporting you. I want them to know that their feelings are valid. And I'm very proud of them for pushing to find the diagnosis, because that in itself is scary. And that
Yes.
we're with them every step of the way. And I don't know
Yeah.
if I've said that verbatim the couple of times that this has happened recently, but that was the lingo around it, that I'm here. Everything that you're feeling is valid. Ask all the questions you need to ask. Write it down.
Yeah.
Bring somebody with you. Ask the doctor if you can record it, just in case you want to listen to it again. If somebody can't physically be there with you, have them
That's
on
good.
FaceTime or something like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it sounds corny, but I try to make it's not like it, I don't, it's hard to say, but I just want them to know that I'm here. And so whether you
Yeah.
want to cry, whether you want to snap, whether you have a medical question, and if I don't know, I'll find out for you. But
Yeah.
I just want them to know that what they're feeling is valid, and we're going to make sure that they get through this on this side of heaven.
Yeah. Because you never get used to it. I go for my mammograms, I go for my pap smear, and I'm telling you, I'm literally anxiety on 10. I can't think straight until the results come back. It's very scary. And for someone that I personally felt like I lost my village, right? Because I don't have my mom or my sister, that I feel alone when I'm doing these things. It's a frightening situation. So to have, like I said, to have you, kind of like walking people through that and helping them mentally get through whatever they may be going through with the cancer diagnosis, or maybe just afraid to go get the test done. Because a lot of women skip their mammograms and paps because they're afraid of the what ifs. I know I know a few friends that don't go. So yeah, I guess it's all in the wording and how you word them and educate them. That's not my world. I try my best, but it's like you know what I mean. It's not my world, but I'm going to send them your way next time. I'm going to say, listen, go on Dr. Nia's page and get with her and her team and see if they can help you with that. But that's a great answer, though. It's kind of like
Yeah,
just talking them through it. Yeah.
absolutely. I
What
mean,
what do
yeah, nobody wants the diagnosis, but
yeah
I can tell you more people who wish they would have went earlier on. If I went
yeah
earlier on, I could have caught it maybe at this stage, but I'm at this stage. And so all of the what ifs. So those are the people that
yeah
really should be talking to the people that skip it. Because
yeah
girl, you better just get it done. Or the men, just get
yeah
your breasts checked too, get your prostate, colon. We
yes
can talk about everything.
yes
Or just do it scared. We do a lot of things that we're afraid of, but we just have to do it. Do the
yeah
same thing with your health.
yeah. I agree with you 100%. Like I said, I'm speaking from my mom. She found out really late. In some situations can be avoided. Sadly, my sister was someone that stayed on top of her health, but it was a cancer that was hard to detect at an early stage. So we do have these different stories. But my mom, she just missed one mammogram, and sadly, when she went, it was at stage 4. I have a question that's not on the cards. Do you feel like cancer, um, for me, what I have noticed is more at a all time high than it was in the 80s and 90s and 70s, or is it just now we're seeing more people talk about it?
I think it's a mix. I think more people are getting screened. So then the more people get screened, the more you find out about it. But I do
Yeah,
think that people are talking about why so many younger people are getting it. Colon
yeah,
cancer at 24 years old, pancreatic cancer at 30. What the heck is going on? And I think that's why people are talking
yes,
about foods and environmental. But as far as the numbers, I just think that people are knowing their bodies better, which is great, and getting screened
yes,
earlier.
yes. Exactly. And that's really important. My doctor literally like made me get the genetic testing because I was scared. It took me 3 years to get it. But once I got it, I was like,
Wow.
okay, we're done with it. I think I have to get it every so many years or something like that. But I'm happy she was like,
Mhm.
just get it done and get it out the way. But yeah, because I would have never have thought about getting it done if she didn't educate that with me. So I get it.
Yeah.
Where can we learn more about your foundation? I follow you, so I know. But where can we learn more about your foundation?
Go on Instagram, Facebook at Bird Cancer Foundation. That's BYRD. Website, birdcancerfoundation.org. You can find out all about us, all our events, and all the things that we do because we really do mean it that we're
Yeah,
here for you.
yeah, no, absolutely, you do. All hands on deck. And because I know I just DM'd you. I haven't talked to you in so long, but I sent you a DM and you DM'd me right back when I was telling you about the situation with the young girls in my community. And I was like, who can I
Yeah.
talk? Like, who can I get with immediately that I know really has passion for this type of work. So yeah, social media. And I'm gonna have all those links here anyway. So they can jump in and follow along. Yeah.
Thank
Um, how can the community come out and support this movement? I know you touched on, the donations and all of that fun stuff, but how can we come together as a community and, get more involved?
One of the main things that you can start talking about it. We talk about everything else. We know about Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. We know about LeBron's coming to the 76ers. We know everything else, but we don't know about our own bodies. We don't know about our family cancer history. We don't know what we're putting into our hair, all the things. So let's start talking to our families, our
Yes.
girlfriends, our boyfriends, our coworkers, or whatever. And once you start that conversation, then I don't even care if you come to our organization. I don't care, but you find out more about yourself. You find out more about your people, your community, your
Yeah.
family, your friends, and that will help save lives.
Yes.
Just start that conversation with yourself. That's how you can help.
Yes.
That's what you can do.
Yeah. So getting more involved is more like educating yourself first,
Yeah,
for sure. I totally agree with that.
absolutely.
Like I said, 100%. Because I was, like I said, girl, I was like so uneducated. I didn't know it was like thousands of different cancer um, uh, things that can go on, like different ways that can attack your body. Like growing up, all I knew was ovaries and uterus and breasts. Like I didn't know like anything about sarcoma and all of these other names that comes with that. So education is very important for sure. And you just
Hmm.
never know.
Yeah.
What led you to? Oh wait, we answered that already. Sorry,
You're
my
okay.
daughter did these questions. My daughter did these questions. And I passed that
You did
one.
great.
Thank you. Here's one. What's next for your foundation and any upcoming incentives or audience should know about? Like what's going on with your foundation and where what's going on with your foundation and what's next for your foundation?
Yes. What's next is that we continue to have new partners, continue to strengthen the partnerships that we have. We have upcoming events. We have an Instagram Live with the Immerman Angels coming up this week.
Yes.
We have an
Tuesday, right?
event
I think
in
that's on Tuesday.
Yes, we have an event in September for ovarian cancer with Cis is Teal organization. We have an upcoming event with the American Indian Cancer Foundation. Of course, Journey for Two. Of course, Unite for Her. Of course, Still Rise Farm. So just connect with us on Bird Cancer Foundation and you'll see all the events that we have, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, because we always want to make sure that we stay active, but in the activity that it's intentional. So we're doing
Yeah.
a lot of things, but we're making sure that our community gets factual, sound, bite-sized
Yes.
education.
Yes. I love that. I'll definitely spread the word a little bit more. And once again, like I said, I'm going to take that accountability and get more involved myself because I've just been on like mom duties for so long now and stuck in the house with the kids and now I'm back outside, they like to say. So I'm going to dive in and see what I can do to support it as well. Yes. On my end. Final question for you, Nia, and I think this is probably the strongest question is for young girls, high school, maybe just starting off in college, and they want to get involved in building their foundations out, whether that's in cancer foundation, whether that's lupus, whether that's, diabetes. What advice would you have for these young women that want to follow your steps or, get to that next step in building out a foundation organization?
Yeah, I would say reach out to me. But I would say I knew that I was passionate about several things. And what my parents had me do was volunteer in those spaces. I volunteered at a labor and delivery unit. I volunteered in oncology. I volunteered at a law firm. I volunteered at all of these things. And while I still have a passion for OBGYN and law, I stayed with radiation oncology. But I
Yeah.
still have a passion for people. And so I really, my dad always said, make your hobby your career. And that's what I do. I love talking to people. I love connecting and this is
Yeah.
what I'm doing. So I would say really hone in on what you love, volunteer in the places that you love and see if it's something that you really do love or something that you want to work in and then connect with me and
Yeah.
we'll get this up and running.
Yeah. I love that. I never thought about it. We do myself and my kids do a lot of volunteer work in our community, but I never looked at it that way, the way you just broke it down. And that's a good way of looking at it, like getting involved in his volunteer work may pull a passion that you don't know that you actually have. So
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Thank
Is
you.
there any final thoughts you want to leave the viewers with?
I'll just say make sure that you know your body, get to know your body in all forms, in the shower, in the mirror. If you have a partner, make sure your partner knows your body too. And know that
Yes.
your body's not going to lie to you. Whatever your body is telling you, listen. So if you need to get rest, if you need to talk to a doctor, whatever it is, listen to your body and make sure that the people on your team and in your life also are listening to your body as well. Understand you and know that you are telling the truth. And I think that will never steer, if I can talk, you wrong. You are just as educated as the doctor. You are the doctor of your own body. Have a voice, use your voice, and that's going to take you far.
I love that. Using your voice is very, very important once again, because I feel like it's such an intimidating conversation, so to understand and know, that's really great advice. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Nia, for sitting in and chatting with me today. It was such a pleasure. And once again, I'm going to dive all into Bird Foundation starting today. Yes. And spread the word a little bit more, because your foundation means so much to someone like me based on my history and my family's history with cancer. And I want to personally say thank you so much for doing what you do. I can't thank you enough. So thank you so much for doing what you do and keeping us up to date and educated.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Pleasure talking to you, and talk to you soon.
Likewise.
Bye bye.